You have to excuse my voice. I have lost it, and it's been a couple weeks and it's starting to come back, so it's good that I have a little bit of it today. I am, to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a wife and a mother of 3 beautiful girls. I'm not originally from North Dakota. I'm from Arizona, so these really cold weeks are a little bit more difficult for me, but it's fine. I have a big jacket that keeps me nice and warm. I am the director of Safe Shelter, and you know, it's interesting that he was talking to the kids about what they wanted to be when they grew up, and this was definitely not something that I thought would be my profession, but I'm so happy that the opportunity came up, and when it did, I felt a calling, and I had left a profession that I was doing well and thriving in, but sometimes God calls you to other things, so I took the leap and decided to apply for the position, and I'm so glad that I have. So to tell you a little bit about Safe Shelter, we are the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Services Agency in Jamestown. We serve Stutsman and Foster County. Not to say that those are the only people that come into our doors. Depending on situations, we tend to service all around North Dakota, because sometimes victims need to find a place outside of their own communities to get away from their abusers and find a safe place for them. Some of you may have heard it called as Mary's Place. We're one and the same. Safe Shelter was the original name of the nonprofit, and then when we built the shelter, because of the large donation from the Newman family and Mary Newman, we named it after Mary Newman. So the shelter itself is Mary's Place Shelter, and our office is in the same building, which is Safe Shelter. We're committed to empowering victims of physical, emotional, and sexual violence, and we do it in many different ways, including shelter for those who are currently in abusive relationships. So that's what our shelter is designated for. We do get a lot of calls for other reasons, and of course we want to help everyone as many ways as we can, but we do designate the shelter for someone who is in immediate physical danger. And we do that because if we didn't, it would be full all the time, and so that service may not be available to someone who could be in a potentially life-threatening situation. So we do have housing in shelter and through hotel rooms. We provide support and advocacy, weekly group, assisting in protection orders, helping with a wide range of services to help victims get back on their feet and are able to live independently, including helping apply for food and housing and daycare assistance. And we also have a 24-hour crisis line that we provide emergency services 24/7. And we have a great group of volunteers that help us, as well as myself and my staff do take many of those hours on that crisis line to be available on call. So some quick facts on domestic violence. On average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by an intimate partner. On a typical day, there are more than 20,000 phone calls placed to domestic violence hotlines nationwide. Intimate partner violence accounts for 15% of violent crimes. In 2021, it's estimated that around 2,100 victims of murder or manslaughter were killed by an intimate partner in the U.S. 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partner violence each year, which typically follows them into adulthood and can create a pattern or just overall PTSD. Abusers can be people you would never expect. In public, they can be kind, charming, prominent people in our community. So it can make a very difficult situation for someone to get out of that situation, because a lot of times victims aren't believed. Safe Shelter in the last year helped 84 victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, provided over 1,000 shelter nights, assisted in 29 protection orders, as well as a wide range of other services. Those are our core services that we do, but we spend many hours sitting down, talking to victims, helping them with their housing, helping them with just getting back up on their feet, helping with healing those wounds that they have. And it's not necessarily just you get in the shelter and everything is going to be fine. Just from a basic standpoint, we do have a lot of survivors who come who have nothing, including personal documents such as driver's licenses, birth certificates for them and their children. They don't have a lot of those documents, so we help secure those, and social security cards, and we start with that. And then it's getting, even just goods as far as clothing and couches and things. We might be able to get them an apartment, but it's gonna be empty. There's not gonna be anything in there. So we do collect those kinds of items, kitchen items, dressers, personal items, everything you can really think of, even sometimes something as small as mascara. So we've had women who've, it seems like such a small thing, but their whole lives they've wore mascara, and that one thing can just kind of help uplift them. So we really take donations for anything. We are a private nonprofit 501c3. We receive a little over half of our funding from state and federal grants. We do receive funds from United Way, and we're very grateful for that. As well as about the rest of it comes from our community, from church, community groups, individuals. And then we hold an annual fundraiser. It used to be the Rabbit Run, you might be familiar with that, but we decided to change it to the Glow Run, which this year was the first year because the weather was always just so horrible in April. So we moved it to September, and this year we only had a little rain, so it wasn't too bad. It was just fine. And then we are a very small staff, and that allows us to keep costs lower because salary costs money. So it's myself, Mary, who's our sexual assault services coordinator, and Dana, who's our domestic violence coordinator. And we run the whole thing ourselves. And it's just I've been in the position for almost 2 years now, and it's just been such a blessing for me to be able to do the work that I'm doing. So that's what I have for you guys today, and I really appreciate you having me here. And if anyone has any questions, or wants to donate or whatever, you can always call our office or stop in if you wanted to. Yeah.
This is irregular. We don't usually have a Q&A in the church, but
that's okay.
Missions Committee, one of the reasons we had you here and want to talk about is that we've had to cut the budget that we normally give to you. So the purpose of her being here is to impress with you the things that you do. We want your contributions. We're trying to raise the money that we couldn't give otherwise through our giving to the church. So hopefully people in the church will give generously to Safe Shelter so that we can make up that amount. And are there other things that we can do personally? You mentioned contributions. Are there things that we can give that would help us so that we can be involved in it, not only in just giving money?
Yeah, so donations as far as toiletries, toilet paper, paper towels, cups, paper plates, even if you're moving out and you have dishware and microwaves, you wanted to upgrade and you have a new microwave. Household goods, we do not take clothes. We get a lot of calls, but we just cannot store clothes. The fire marshal doesn't want us to have a whole bunch of clothes, so no clothes. But small toiletry items, or bigger, newer toiletry items, sheets and blankets, really all those little things, anything you can think of that, if you're thinking of someone moving into a new place might need, and just even comfort items or comfort foods. We are able to pay for some food when they're in shelter, but we can't pay for it. If they're there for 6 months, we can't pay for 6 months worth of food. So we really do work on usually getting them food stamps. But, you know, a lot of the things that they like are pasta and top ramen and easy things that they can cook, because a lot of times they don't want to cook a big elaborate meal every day. And then, and this is more of a tough one, but we are always looking for volunteers for our crisis line. We do training for doing that. It's a 40-hour training, and it's mostly watching videos, and then you sit down with our training coordinator, Dana. So if there was anyone who was really passionate about helping victims, that's another way you can really help serve Safe Shelter. Okay, thank you so much